Yo, I really appreciate you doing this with us.
Well, I appreciate you asking me. It's like nice to do shit. There's not a lot of shit going on right now, so
Yeah,
no offense, but like always everyone's looking for stuff to do right now. So
yeah.
thank you
I
for
was,
inviting me.
your Instagram page is, I think, one of my favorites I found this year.
Okay, thank you.
I've
Yeah.
been on it for a little while from the cornflake or whatever the cereal bag one.
Yeah, that was a classic.
A couple of years ago, maybe. I get lost in time sometimes.
Yeah,
But that one, and I love tagging my friends in like the hot dog ones or the peanut butter ones. It just throws people for a loop because it's so interesting. You know what I mean? I love it. They're
yeah,
like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, it's art, man. Like, come on, take it in.
yeah. Well, it's a lot. It's a lot of different things, but yeah, it's. But I know you guys are into comedy. I think
Yeah.
it's art. It's serious, but it's also supposed to be funny too, which I'm glad people are laughing at it because you should, you know.
And I also love the Weeble Wobble thing
Yeah.
Oh
you're
yeah.
messing around with. Where was that? We're not giving away too many secrets, but like that was it somewhere in Brooklyn?
Yeah, the Weeble Wobble is in Brooklyn, and the first one I made, I'm gonna date myself here. I made it in 1995
Wow.
in New York City my friend was organizing a night of performance. Like I kind of came up in this kind of like really odd underground scene. It was like Williamsburg performance artist weirdos, and like we used to have like weird, strange warehouse parties where you could do all kinds of crazy stuff. And my friend organized one night called the Deviant Playground, which was supposed to be like Williamsburg performance art weirdos that had like nothing to do with the rest of the world. People are like, hey man, no, no, no. Like they talked to me about the 90s and this and that. I'm like, I don't know. We had nothing to do with that. We were like our own weirdness. But it was like us and like kind of like the Leather Boy and like Dom community from Manhattan,
Uh-huh.
like to come together into a weird dark playground. And I thought of the idea of the Weeble, and I figured technically out how to make it. And when I got it and had made it, it actually worked. I didn't really know. It was thank you, but yeah, that's
It has to be great for the core, right? Like
what.
holding on and just your core has to be
Oh,
tight as fuck.
yeah, it's definitely like your shoulders, arms, upper body. Yeah.
So I was like running it down a few questions. Like, so like, how would you introduce your art to like someone who doesn't know your style or who you are as a person?
Oh, um, I guess I'd say like I'm a performance artist and a sculptor.
Mhm.
An interventionist is another word used, fancy words. Immersionist or other things. And immersionist is more like when I stalked Donald Trump for a year undercover, or when I went out as this rich guy Alex von Furstenberg for a year undercover in 2000. Um, I mean, David Nobody on Instagram is also a character too.
Okay.
So hold on,
I kind of like create characters. Like I have like all these different bodies of work where I kind of created a character, and the character becomes my life. And out of the character, I can create art objects, but also performances, and also just like how I live. You know, it kind of I just kind of like like I'm influenced by Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, yeah, obviously.
awesome.
Yeah,
So
try not to go insane.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We're nuts, both of us. Yeah.
I just made eggplant rollatini on a Thursday, medicated. So we're down. Yeah, we were filming medicated eggplant rollatini. So we're a little nuts over here too in our own right.
Okay, cool. And where are you guys based out of?
He lives in Rockaway. I'm in Manhattan.
Okay, yeah, you guys sound like New York guys. Cool.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
are you from New York originally?
No, I'm from like New Hope, Pennsylvania, originally.
It's the '90s, right? Or
Yeah, I moved here in '91 when I was like 22.
yeah, you're in New York. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Well, so
definitely.
I was doing research on bringing up how you stalked Trump for a year. Do you ever like get mad about that, or do you like it with the attention and stuff?
Well, I haven't really played that project up heavily because I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not into Trump. So yeah, people ask me about it. I mean, Vice did a piece on it like right after the election.
Yeah.
I may bring it back out again soon. I think it's like kind of time. I feel like he's starting to stumble more and more, basically. you know, it's like he's kind of a slimy salesman. You can't sell something to a virus. Sorry, bro. Virus ain't buying. You know.
Yeah, listen, I'm not a political person at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just as a comedian, obviously a lot of comedians say it. He says a lot of wild stuff, sometimes funny, even though he's the president of the country. But like he's slipping so much now with the Giselle Maxwell. Like he's not even he's burned out. He needs to move on. I don't think he can second term. Die, man.
I understand, like, as for someone that did support it, they liked it because it was kind of like professional wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, the thing is like, I don't know. It's too fascist for me and too racist and shit. I can't deal with
it. Yeah.
So like I was talking about, like another piece really interesting of mine, another piece of yours that really influenced me, like thinking about, was your David Henry Jr. 9/11 fashion memorial for 2001 and 2 line. And what was the influence of you distorting conservative fashion for the show?
Oh, why did I do that?
No, what was your influence, like from like fashion, like the
Thank you for adjusting the camera. You were split in half. It was really disturbing.
I was thinking, what was your influence of taking conservative fashion as a rejection of or influence of 9/11?
Well, right after 9/11, like I had made another body of work working at this undercover at the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, and yeah, for like 6 months. Oh my God, I almost lost my mind working there. That was harsh. I took a job there undercover.
Oh, really?
I grew a mustache. Well, I'd been on TV as Alex von Furstenberg, so I was actually recognized out in public. Not really a real celebrity, you know, but like people would be like, "Oh yeah, I saw you on CNN," or "I saw you on ABC." So when I did the Wax Museum piece, like I changed my hairstyle and I grew a mustache to be undercover, and then I did the project. And like right near the end of the project, 9/11 happened, and I had a solo show lined up at a gallery in Chelsea, and we went ahead and did it anyway in October of 2001. And it really, nobody came to the show. It was right after 9/11. And I just kind of felt like I was looking for something new, like right away, you know, like I needed. And so one night, I was kind of starting to do more drugs and party a little bit more. I was like, 30, kind of going still kind of crazy. And I went out with a shirt on that was like kind of stripy, and I kind of had appliqued with a piece of fabric a stripy jet plane shape onto a shirt. And I was like, I wonder what will happen if I wear this out to a club tonight, right after 9/11. And after my solo show had opened and it kind of bombed. It didn't bomb, but it was just nobody came, and I like spent money on credit cards to produce it. I'm not a rich kid. So I took a lot of risk, and it was like kind of like, ugh. So I was like, all right, you need to reinvent yourself. And it was just like intuition. I wore that shirt out, and instead of being like shunned by people or freaked, that they were freaked by the image of a jet plane, because as you guys remember, like everybody was pretty scared after that. Right. Actually, I got like, everyone was like, hey, that shirt is amazing. Where can I buy one? I was like, what? I was like, people want to buy what they're afraid of? That doesn't make any sense. I was like, oh, why don't you become a fashion designer? And it seemed like the world was going to end anyway. So I was like, why not just like do something that you never thought of before? But I was always like, when I was into punk, when I was a kid, I was always like really good with, I don't know, I was always like a good t-shirt collector. And then like I had a period of time also, I was a deadhead. Like when I was, I followed the Dead when I was like 18, 19, 20 for another phase. I kind of had many youth culture phases where I was like a metalhead. I was a punk for a couple years. Then I became a deadhead. And then I was like really into techno, and I would like change my looks and shit. So I was like kind of a poser in a way. And eventually I just kind of used that in my work. So out of all that stuff and my interest in sociology, like that's how I became and 9/11, that's how I became a fashion designer. So I started making clothes, and like I shaved my head, and I got a mohawk, and I shaved a jet plane in the side of it, and I had an upside down cross on the back of it. I used to rock that on the subway. People would be like, yeah, dude. So it was kind of like all these different pieces. It was like a kind of a way to process history and reality. Just like, when you get on stage and you do a comedy piece, like it's a reflection of your life, where you're at, or history, or whatever you're being in, whatever waters you're swimming in. And if it's sewage, then you're going to make comedy about sewage,
So I was wondering, I designed the graphics for the podcast, the one I sent you, the thumbnail. Was it
Yeah.
like you could tell it's humor from the graphic, right?
Wait, is that on your Instagram?
No, the one I sent you in the thread.
Okay.
Blue and it says "Let us be idiots."
I'm looking for it. Oh yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Suppose that I feel it represents a light, loose show.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure what you're talking about with the
That's fine.
graphic. But, okay.
I edit all these shows anyway.
But when you were talking about the shirt, like I wasn't. I swear to God, I read the paper my whole life since high school. I'd rather read the paper than open a book. And like I think I remember hearing like I wasn't aware that like with the shirt and it gained some press, did it?
Yeah, I expanded it into a full line, and I was kind of like, well, my parents are kind of conservative in a certain way, and they tried to make me and my sister wear things like Brooks Brothers, and I hated it. So for me to take those suits and subvert them into punk is kind of like true to my roots and kind of flipping off my family history a little bit, and a language that I was familiar with. So I was definitely taking like, I wanted to take like conservative clothing and kind of turn it, kind of punkify it, and also load it with content about 9/11. There were a lot of shirts with like mangle ties, which remind me of like kind of stockbrokers jumping out the window or something, you know, like just a complete like crash of society. I wanted the fashion to reflect that.
Very relevant for today's time.
I thought
in a different way, yeah. I mean, we're in another free fall right now. It's different, but
I thought it really just clicked the bell in my head when he was saying that. And then when you said about following the dead, I was just into drugs when I was like, I just turned 40. I don't know how old you are, but I was big enough to say your age, but it's probably the same range. And I remember I was at Liberty State Park for the Further Fest. I ate acid and mushrooms, and that's right across the street, across the water from the city, tripping so fucking hard. And it was 4th of July, and there's fireworks going off. Twin Towers was still there, and it's just, I couldn't handle it. I'm like tripping hard. I'm looking across the water. It was right when Twisted Metal was out, where you could blow up the Eiffel Tower. I'm tripping. I'm seeing these fireworks, the city. I'm like, I couldn't handle it, man. Those shows were fucking wild, man. I went to a couple of.
Were you at a dead show? You were at a dead show. You were at, it was post Jerry then.
Yeah.
Jerry died in like 95, I think.
Yeah, well, I think like 90. I think maybe, I forget when, but I also seen him when Jerry was alive at Giant Stadium. I was just going with the flow. My friends were like, yeah, they do drugs. The shirts were cool. I was like, yeah, I'm in. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
We jumped the wall.
Well, I think like if you had been into metal and punk before that, like me, like you kind of, it wasn't really like the best place to like take acid. No. So suddenly like it had been 20 years since the 60s when I was in college. And that stuff started to kind of reinvent itself amongst young people who, it was kind of new to us basically. And so it was also a nice place. It was like kind of a little bit different kind of soul to it. And yeah. So.
And $5 for some black fly acid. You can get 2 of them in a 12-pack for $20. You can't afford that.
And I remember the first time I took it, I was at a show and this old hippie came up to me and my friends. He's like, "Hey son, you want to buy some acid, man?" We were like, "Okay, mister." We didn't even know what was going to happen, you know.
Those shows were sick. I remember ordering like 40 grilled cheeses, tripping from like Sippy. Next you know, it turned into it was like out by the Meadowlands. It turned into a dog show. I'm petting Rottweilers, and then next you know, it was like a circus of some sort because there was like 10 events going on, and I'm like, I shouldn't be on acid and mushrooms right now, wandering around fucking Meadowlands with a dog show. There was like biker people, then like a fucking
there was a bunch of different things going on at once.
It was sensory overload and too much mental drugs going on.
Yeah. I'm glad you're still here with us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was wanted to ask you, like, as like what are your future plans for Instagram as a platform?
I kind of take it day by day. I'm a little bit less like doing the day-to-day quick pieces, and more like I'm planning like larger projects or like more live performances and stuff. I just did a live performance at this, it's a pretty notable outsider artist gallery called Andrew Edlin. And they show a lot of art of like self-taught or mentally ill artists. Some of them are very famous and worth a lot of money and stuff, but it's a little bit more focused on creativity and less on status as galleries go, whereas most art world is status and less creativity. So I just did a performance there called Mirror Mirror Man, where I announced the Declaration of Interdependence covered in a suit of mirrors. And I got a young guy who was a death metal like child prodigy guitar shredder to dress up as a wizard and serenade the performance in a free solo jam for 15 minutes while I sort of did my thing all covered in mirrors.
Awesome.
So like, but that like took 3 weeks to plan that.
Wow.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like I'm kind of like, I've done like so much crack art, like just like, it's like, kind of stuff. I love doing it, and I'll get back to it too, but I've also been, I think in this year and with the virus too, I've been like kind of like looking for larger, bigger things to chew on a little bit more. How
long does it take for one of the pieces that you do on Instagram, like with the hot dogs or the peanut butter, the cornflakes? How long does it take that?
Those could be like half a day. It's like, I get faster like once I get rolling with it every day, and I go through periods kind of now where I get rolling with those pieces. And then some of them, honestly, it's like multiple days, because you have to, it's harder than you think. It's either easier than you think or harder than you think. And I kind of just like, like anybody who records what they do, you try things and you look at the recording and you're like, that doesn't look that interesting. Oh, I think I'll change this. It's kind of like that's the recording is the mirror, basically, and that's how you improve your creative process.
That's exactly what Sandy said.
Yeah, that's like an open mic for us. You're doing the...
Sure.
And I just love it, man. I'm a big fan of you. I love all the work, brother.
Yeah,
keep everything up, man. And I look forward to seeing new stuff. And like I was even showing my girl, I was like, yo, he probably, like, if there's no one on set, he might have drowned. She's like, he could have drowned from the melt. Was that, I know it's simple little pieces, but like, was there any danger, like claustrophobic, like where you feel like, wow.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of claustrophobia. I think like that claustrophobia is actually probably something that I have a little bit of maybe. And like a lot of times the pieces are like kind of working that out. Like it's almost like controlling, exerting control over a lot of like primal fears. Drowning, definitely. Like, but those the serial piece was like, those are super carefully done, and I worked by this is like my studio back here. Oh well, we're not going to see that on the recording, but there's all kinds of props here, and I like work. I kind of like, when I make those pieces, I know it looks like I go quick actually, but I kind of enjoy slowing time down a lot, slow it down and stop thinking about whatever Trump just said or what the weather is and all this kind of stuff, and just go into the zone and take your time. And when there's more physical risk to it, like I've also worked with setting stuff on fire on me. I like really calculating those things and doing different trials and stuff. My dad was an engineer, so like I have actually, as much as like the works are messy and like what would be known as Dionysian, like kind of sloppy and messy, I have more of a background that's like very like ordered and engineer, like Apollonian, like structure, geometry.
No,
yeah, they're pretty systematic, basically.
I went to art school, so I can see it in the pieces.
Yeah, well, sure, but I'm talking about engineering.
I was talking about your particular like engineering of your Instagram pieces.
Yeah, how to engineer those, how to like how do you put the bag, like the bag was put around my face in such a way, like I knew that like I double stick taped I cut eye holes because I knew I had to be able to see.
Yeah.
Since I'm filming myself, I had to be able to see the screen, that I have the camera attached to. There's a lot of factors. And
do you use any like customized engineering softwares to like when it comes to like making it the mapping of say more complicated faces?
No. I mean, honestly, like a couple years ago, I didn't even know how to edit video, and now I'm actually like very good at iMovie now. Like I know how to do everything on it. It's huge. Like Instagram is huge for me because you got to think like artists like me, well, just saying like expanding. off like how good it is to be able to connect with all kinds of people, like just like this.
Yeah.
Like creative people like me used to be kind of landlocked a lot more and isolated, because like the galleries where I thought I should be showing my work, and I still will, as one thing, but I'm also interested in a lot of other areas of creativity, comedy, movies, I don't know, music, but the internet's allowed me to release a lot of recordings too, like including like the recordings of me with Trump, or like these older pieces. Like I just put up an really old video where me and this guy would roll out red carpets in the mid to later 90s in Manhattan, and nobody was showing up, and hundreds and hundreds of people would start waiting. I've like never been able to really disseminate those recordings that well, you know what I'm saying? Because like the museums wouldn't really, they're like, this is not art, or you're not a rich kid, so we don't want to show you, or whatever. So now I'm like, fuck you. Like, it's just amazing to be able to go around all the blockades, as a 3-decade deep artist, like who's been like super experimental and trying to do many different things and working in many different styles. It's just amazing to be able to go around all the blocks that used to be around people like me. They don't exist as much.
I was saying you reached some level of fame due to the fact you have a Wikipedia under your name.
There is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do that. Who did that? Did you guys do that?
No, I didn't know.
No. I'm not that
You're
sad.
fucking with me, man.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I should contribute to it then.
Oh, you should totally do that. Like write stuff in, you like alternative facts about yourself.
I wonder who did it. I don't know.
But so you would roll the red carpet out, and people would just think there's some sort of celebrity event waiting around.
Yeah. I worked with this English guy, and so we posed as a company called Red Carpet Rollers. We did a bunch of street performances, but Red Carpet Roll, we tried many different things out on the street, and like our ability to record was pretty rudimentary, but the one that developed the most, and we got better camera people. By the later 90s, there were DV cameras, and the recording quality got a lot better, and you could edit a little bit more easily. But Red Carpet Rollers went the furthest. Yeah, so we would go. We posed as this company, we're Dominic, who's British, and he talked like this, so he sort of had a sense of authority to him. We wore like tuxedos and white gloves. We had a roll of red carpet, and we would stand in front of buildings. Most of the time nobody was coming, although we also infiltrated things where we knew like famous people were showing up, and we rolled the red carpet out for the Queen of Egypt, Spain, and Jordan one night, and they thought it was supposed to be part of the situation. So all that reality hacking shit, that's all that stuff. But yeah, that was
Would you say like you were a professional troll before trolling was a thing?
I have been called definitely a professional troll, and I think Juxtaposed Magazine said I was a professional weirdo.
Okay.
I'll take those.
Yeah,
no. I think like they're like those pieces were like, yeah, you wouldn't have said troll in the 90s. People would have said, oh, that reminds me a little bit of Candid Camera.
Yeah.
But actually, the real idea in Red Carpet Rollers was it was supposed to be funny, but what we were trying to do is like kind of make the audience become the art without them realizing it. One of the problems with creativity is like being too self-conscious, especially with art. It's too self-conscious. It's like almost like the human spirit doesn't speak well when it's too self-conscious. And in Red Carpet Rollers, we would kind of like trick the audience into being the art, so that they would say things that would expand. I don't know, people would say all kinds of strange things. So the idea was to get the audience to talk. Our camera guys, like not the CNN tape, but our tapes that are like on my website, our videos like really focused on getting the audience to project on who they thought was coming and what that meant to them. And also in the end, like they would wait so long, they would start criticizing. They're like, wait a minute, this person doesn't care about me. Why do I fucking care about them? And you'd be like, yes, you know? So it really, I think like those pieces are like politically the most powerful because it shows that like social criticism is intuitive in humans in the right circumstance, that no matter how much of a believer you are, there's another part of you that's questioning what's happening, and that those works expose that. But it's really, really funny and entertaining, but I think it's really powerful to show that transformation in people. And I kind of hold that red carpet rollers like as sociologically and politically like my highest level stuff for that reason, what I just said.
You said I meant to ask you before, when you went undercover at Manham, the wax. Yeah, I always go through that. I was trying to think the wax museum. What did you do there? And what was going on with that? I meant to ask you before.
Well, the wax museum kind of came like there were a series of projects that led to an interest in the wax museum, and red carpet rollers was like the breakout piece where I really got interested in celebrities and how fake it was. I don't think I really realized growing up in America like that I never liked them, but I didn't really understand that it's an idea, that there's a language in it. And it was Dominic being English that kind of said, and being an immigrant that kind of like said stuff to me, and I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. So that was red carpet rollers was very influential for my own solo work, because I went on to follow Trump for a year as a piece, which kind of overlapped with impersonating this rich guy, Alex von Furstenberg. And that went crazy. It was on national TV. The Trump stuff, not so much at the time. But Alex I was on national TV for that. And from there, I kind of wanted to explore like, I don't know, more of the working class side of like the support system for fame. So I got a job at the Wax Museum. It kind of came like after those projects, like as the next logical step. And it was a pretty oppressive situation. I wanted to like kind of take it apart, like also too, like when I went to the Wax Museum, it seemed like kind of like a ready-made Andy Kaufman theater, like where it was like anything could happen, and it's before the phones, but you could still, anybody could like you could shoot as much video and as much photos as you want as a guest. So it seemed pretty easy to bring camera people in and like make a reality TV like infiltration performance there. It was like ready. It was like a set. They had like wax figures. It was related to other bodies of work. But the Wax Museum is really about like kind of on a general, more philosophical level is kind of, I mean, wax figures come from death casts. It's about death.
Yeah.
And immortality. It's like like this weird American insecurity about death. We don't really deal with death very well here. And also I became increasingly interested in simulation too, like simulacra and like the Matrix and replication of reality, and that we were living in this kind of consumerist fake reality, and I wanted to like push myself into it even more, because it was at the time a lot of artists pulled back from that. They're like, I'm not a part of that. And I was like, that's bullshit. Even if you don't believe in it, you're still a part of it. And I wanted to prove it in the work. So this is a roundabout answer that there was a lot of intellectual ideas of why I worked there.
When you were working at Wax and there were different identities, did you have fake papers for that job?
Yeah, I kind of created a character, but I used my real name, David Brown. I worked as a host there. Sorry, I should have just started with the basic stuff. Yeah. But I worked as a host, which is someone who entertained the guests as they went through the open, because it was like you would be in a room and you would loosely guide people. And we had to wear these horrible outfits that were like where we looked like jesters. It reminded me, I had a job for a little while when I was a teenager at Orange Julius in the mall. And we had to wear this horrible fucking outfit. I think I got fired after a couple days. Man, it was a fucked up and weird place to work, man. Really bizarre. So I wanted to kind of work there and allow the situation to influence like how I behaved, basically. Yeah. I kind of picked up on the humor amongst everybody that I worked with, and one of the things people would do is, because you couldn't tell who was real and who was not. Have you been to a wax museum before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think the interesting part is like you can't tell who's real in the room and who's fake. And I think that specific area is of interest. And yeah, it was definitely weird. Fucking weird job, man. So I staged performances there. I brought like this camera guy in that I worked with a lot, Richard Sandler. He was a genius. And I had a photographer come in and shoot pictures of me like interacting with the public.
What were actors for these projects?
What?
What are starting out actors involved for some of the projects in the wax museum you were making?
Oh, did I have actors involved?
Yeah.
No, just me.
Okay.
No, it was just with like interacting with the public.
Okay.
You mentioned stand-up before. Have you ever gotten on stage and do stand-ups?
Oh my God, it sounds nerve-wracking. No, I have not, but I appreciate stand-up a lot. Like I'm a like, you know, like I love George Carlin.
Of course.
Yeah.
I like Eric Andre a lot. Some of my friends don't. Actually, the first time I saw Eric Andre like 4 years ago, I was like, what? Well, it's like so sophomoric at first. You're like, kind of puts you off. But over the years, I mean, I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm a comedy aficionado, by the way. I have friends that are like really aficionados. But I like Eric Andre's stuff a lot, like the street stuff he does, like Bird Up and those things. Fucking piss my pants laughing. But I've never really, I'm like kind of like almost like in comedy, you could almost compare me to a props comic like Gallagher or something like that. Because I kind of like make sculptural situations where I have props, where I make costumes, and I need like physical stuff.
Yeah.
Like I can't just like speak. I don't think I can really just get on the mic and go off. I need like stimuli, where that's how I kind of just.
You're doing great on our podcast.
Okay. Good.
Well, listen, me and Matteo, we host shows anywhere we can. We have one Saturday on the Bay in Rockaway. Like we go anywhere we can have shows. We can usually, obviously, in an establishment. But anytime you ever want to get on stage or do a performance.
How are you guys doing shows right now with the Rona?
We're going on to the beach. I live in Rockaway on the beach, so we're gonna do an outdoor show.
Cool.
We did one in Wits End over here. It's a popular restaurant. We did in the back.
You do them outside.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah. When I did that performance at the gallery, it was outside.
Yeah. I have a small pickup, and I got a generator. I was itching. I needed to get on stage, and I was going around the neighborhood doing stand up, and some lady flipped me off. The husband came over. I did a little too much crowd work with her, and the guy came over, swung on me twice, and then I'm like, no one heckles me because I'm a bigger guy. I'm like, let alone swinging on me. And then I had my shirt off.
Why did he swing? Why did he swing at you? Because he said something he didn't like?
His wife was giving me the double middle finger, and I played with it, and I got triggered, and I went in a little too much. But she's drinking in front of like a dive bar that I partied at plenty of times. Like the people there, they're not friends. Excuse me?
They know you. Yeah.
He knew me also.
People are really nuts right now, man.
But after he swung on me, I'm like, all right, I'm leaving. The cop car was coming up, reversing up the block, looking for a maniac with no shirt on. My Instagram handle on my stomach like Tupac. And they crashed into a car. So I threw the generator in the truck, and I got the fuck out.
Oh, my God.
Try to give some free art for the community. People just weren't into it.
Yeah.
But,
you got to do something, yeah. I think everybody's like looking for a venue. I think if you're gig oriented, it's tough right now.
Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, for me personally, I'm lucky that like I can always work just alone in the studio.
Like gallery wise, are we doing showings indoors, or are we putting just stuff in the area?
Well, yeah, gallery shows would be indoors. I mean, right now we're at a phase where like people can go inside a gallery and look at art, but you wear a mask, and it's like limited. It's limited depending on the size of the space. Yeah. Limited amount of people in at once, and then most people at the opening will congregate outside. So I don't know. They're trying to figure it out.
Sure. With the algorithms and stuff, I don't know if I ever missed it that maybe you posted something, but have you done something where or maybe in the future, I would love to come see you live or see one of your galleries and stuff. Like I'm obviously I'm like butchering through galleries and saying what to say, but I do love the art, and I would love the support also. Big
cool.
fan of you, brother.
I'm supposed to do something with this performance artist, Matthew Silver.
What? Yeah, yeah,
The fart love.
yeah.
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 Matthew Silver and this other guy, Special Head.
Never heard.
He's
that.
more of a YouTube. He's more of a YouTube guy. He's another performance. He's funny. I like Special Head. He's cool. Danny.
Yeah.
We're supposed to do something like in Bushwick on the street. It was supposed to be August 15th, but I think it's going to be on the 29th. It's going to be called like Lost Puppy or something. So we're putting our heads together for that. And it's just like kind of a free form, no budget type, anybody can come and check it out type thing. So I'll let you guys know if you.
We'll be on Instagram. We promote it so I can.
Yeah, I'll promote it on Instagram probably a little, like in the days leading up to it probably.
Yeah. Well, listen, if I do come, I'll bring some Medicaid. I don't know if you get down with the edibles, but I always have them on me anyway because I don't drink anymore.
I haven't drank since 9/11. That fashion designer character, not so good. Went down the tubes, man. 2 years. I made so much stuff, but I had to quit everything, and I've stayed off. I still smoke weed sometimes, but I don't know. I'm more into like I just feel like I've just like partied so much when I was young. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Trust me.
Well, thank you for being on, and it's been actually absolutely fantastic for us doing this. I'm going to cut it and get the recording on my desktop from the cloud.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, David. It's
nice to meet you guys.
Like after being a huge fan of yours, keep up the great work. Thank you, brother, and hopefully see you the 29th.
All right, sounds good. Send me some links to what you guys do so I can see your stand-up because I don't know jack shit.
100%.
All right.
Thank you, brother.